Part 1. Tully's to the Tourney. Lord Hoster watched as servants scrambled about the courtyard, making sure weapons were being properly stored as well as fine tapestries meant as birthday presents for the young prince. This tourney could be a valuable opportunity for House Tully. All the lords of the realm would be in attendance, as well as their children. It was an opportunity to get a look at the younger generation of lords, and see what streams could be swam up. His daughters would be of marrying age soon, and it was his responsibility to find good husbands for them. A Lannister alliance would be ideal. Once everything had been loaded into the cart and checked twice, he summoned his girls. Mincer went, Lady of Riverrun, escorted them out to the courtyard herself. She had dressed the girls in matching gowns in the colours of their house, red for Catelyn and blue for Lysa. Hoster beamed with pride at his two girls. He bowed and put on his best diplomatic voice. Forgive me, my ladies, but I'm waiting for my young daughters to escort them to the tourney in Lannisport. I'm afraid I have no more room in our party, even for two beauties as yourself. The girls giggled, Catelyn doing her best curtsy in response to the bow. Lysa looked as if she were about to imitate her sister before retreating to her mother's side. Catelyn noticed her sister's absence as she rose. She simply went over and took Lysa's hand from her mother, leading her younger sister towards the carriage house. We're ready, father, Catelyn said sweetly. Lysa could not seem to meet her father's eyes. Hoster sighed and picked up the little girl in the blue dress. This will be your first time so far from home, won't it? Lysa nodded and buried her head in the crook of her father's neck. He rubbed her back and looked over his other daughter. Catelyn simply shrugged and began to make her way into the carriage house. We'll be meeting the Blackwoods along the way. You've met them before. Do you remember? He felt Lysa nod against his neck, but it was clear she would not be speaking. Perhaps Catelyn would get her to say something down the road. She had a way with her sister that no one else seemed to. With the two girls located and in hand, all that was left was his young lord. Hoster called toward the great open door. Petyr, come along. Your father's been looking forward to seeing you, and we don't want to disappoint him. Come show him what a fine young man I'm making you. Hoster walked over to his dear lady wife, youngest daughter still in his arms. Do try to make sure Edmure's not too cross with me. He'll be entering tourneys before we know it. He leaned in closer so none could hear. Good welcome dress. Cat almost looks like a Lannister. She'd stand out like a rose in the garden. Surely Tywin would take note. Hoster took his wife's hand in his and kissed it. We'll be back soon, he promised. Petyr rushed forward, dressed in a simple deep green tunic that called to mind the colours of the young boy's house. In his arms he held a small stack of books tied together with a leather strap. I'm ready, my lord, he squeaked, smiling shyly. For most little boys, a tourney would be a source of great excitement and wonderment. Certainly this was so for young Edmure, who had not made a secret of his jealousy for Petyr being taken to the tourney when he would have to stay at home with his lady mother. Petyr did not, perhaps, share the fascination with sword fights and jousting that the younger boy did, but the spectacle of a real tourney at Lannisport, which might as well be a mythical city for how far away it was something even the bookish, delicate boy could not deny the appeal in. He wasn't sure how much of a fine young man he was becoming in truth, nor if the somewhat distant image of his knightly aged father would approve of him. It was perhaps a blessing that Lord Tully had no older sons and that Petyr was allowed to play with his daughters, who enjoyed playing make-believe and sharing fairy tales over wanting to cross practice swords or beat each other about the head with sticks. And perhaps it was fate at that, for Lord Tully's older daughter must have been the prettiest girl in the entire world. Today Cat was dressed in a splendid red dress that made her look like a truly great lady, and Peter's heart quickened just to look at her. Oh, Cat, the jonquil to his Florian. One day surely they would be married, and be the happiest pair in the entire world. But today, the young boy climbed into the carriage with the rest of the children and settled in for the journey, seated between the two girls as if he was their brother. Why, he wondered, would they be stopping to see Lord Blackwood? He hoped for some political conversation he could eavesdrop on. Those were always so interesting. Finally, with all the children in, they made their way west, towards Lord Blackwood's lands.